Our first movie tells the story of a friendship behind prison walls that spans more than 20 years.
So welcome to a very special mid-pandemic episode of Middlebrow Madness. And God, we haven't done this so long that I fucked up the intro. An exercise in podcast hubris. My name is Derek Gade.
I'm Isabel Arf. I'm not even fucking around with some bullshit today because, Derek, there's two things we should talk about here. One is that we haven't recorded in a while.
That's true.
And the other is that the world went fucking insane while we were not recording things.
The world screeched to a halt like a locomotive.
We are getting to witness the death of neoliberal capitalism right before our eyes. I genuinely didn't think it would happen in my lifetime. I don't know what's going on anymore, Derek. I used to be able to, have a handle on the news as a concept. And now I don't. I used to be able to predict things. Hey, here's probably what's going to happen. Whereas apparently all those rules are just out the window now.
Well, these are unprecedented events, at least in our lifetime, and at least a couple of generations, because the last time I think anything on this level happened was with the 1918 influenza epidemic.
Yes.
So these are uncharted waters for everyone who's alive, unless we're talking about people who are 102 years old or older.
In which case, they probably still don't remember it.
Probably not. So here's the weird thing about this is that the government of Quebec, where I live, the government of where I live, Quebec, basically determined that what I do for a living is an essential service. And my life has changed very little during this global crisis.
Which
is
does that
weird
make
to
it
say.
even weirder that everyone else have screeched to a halt and you have to keep doing regular shit?
Yeah, well, here's a couple of things with that. One is every day feels like I'm getting on board a ghost ship. Because my routine is basically identical, but the streets are emptier and my office is emptier. My office, at its maximum, not at once in the office, but we employ about 100 people. And right now, we're running at I counted last Friday when I was there, we were 7.
Fuck.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I mean, I basically work in television, or at least television adjacent. So as long as there's TV, I have a job.
As long as there's those emergency broadcasts going out.
Well, here's the thing. What I do, because our operation has English language services and French language services. The French language services was all sports and politics. And that basically just got shut down real quick. And so no one on the French team practically works anymore. So they're all at home for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
And on the English side, what we did mainly was news and weather, which is probably the last things that are going to go if they do. We have some sports contracts, but most of what we do is cable news. Actually, we might want to take that out because I want to protect my OPSEC.
That's fine. I will put some bleeping sounds on it or something.
But anyway, so basically cable news, and we also do we do weather, and those aren't going to go any place at any time. And sometimes people who can't hear, or at the very least people who use subtitles as their main way to convey information on a television screen, they probably deserve to know when there's a tornado coming their way or something. That's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that, Derek.
But the one thing that's weird is that I also do a channel, which, at this point, I would say that about 75% of the broadcast day is dedicated to true crime shows. So that's kind of a bummer.
Oh, God.
So yeah.
So you're doing great in the Great White North.
I'm doing about as well as can be expected given the circumstances.
Okay. That's fair. Meanwhile, I'm over here losing my fucking mind because I haven't seen a human being for a week. It's weird. This is like I was said it on Twitter. This is the longest I've been not at a job. For those who don't know, I mean, I work in retail. It's not an essential thing at all. And should I get into the saga of everything that happened at my job in relatively loose terms? I guess
you can give it like a type 2 or type 3 on the goings on.
Okay, so we were open kind of like for a little bit when this was starting to really ramp up, and then like the Saturday and Sunday of the week where it really started hitting, our sales dropped to, I can't say exact numbers because it's technically company information, but let's just say it's not doing well. And on Sunday, we had a conference call that I also cannot divulge information about, but it was so dispiriting that I left afterwards. I told my store manager, hey, I'm not going to deal with this. I need to go home. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. You can just leave. So I left, and then I called out sick one of those days that week just because I didn't want to go in. And then the next day that I was supposed to go in, we get an official word from our company, like our corporation, which is a worldwide corporation, saying, hey, you guys don't have to go into work for the next 2 weeks. We don't know what's going on. We'll figure something out, but you'll get paid. So I stayed there for about, I think it's been 2 weeks now. Officially today is the first day that I called myself out. And then last week we get another text from the store manager who I work right under. I'm the next level manager, saying, hey, Colorado, which is where I live, actually did a stay-at-home order for the entire state until at least the 12th. So we're shut down no matter what until then, and we'll see what goes from there. The one time that I've seen people is on actually Monday and Tuesday of this week. I went to go see a couple partners, and that was nice because I hadn't seen anyone for a week and a half at that point. But yeah, I've definitely begun to lose track of what days are and how time works, and it is a very strange situation in that I keep feeling like I should be more productive than I should be, which always makes me less productive because then I'm nervous about not being productive enough, and also I forget what I do most days, and I'm doing significantly better than the majority of people, I think, in general, like the fact that I'm still getting paid and that I still have a job and that I don't have to go to it is nice. But also...
but the hours get long.
The hours do get long. And that's why I wanted to record this episode for you guys, to let you guys know how we're doing, and just to have like a little bit of a buffer episode. There will be an episode coming out soonish. I'm finishing editing the episode that was supposed to be out 2 months ago. And then since I don't have any fucking thing else to do, I will definitely edit the next episode relatively quickly. And we'll see where things go from there. If we had the kind of an idea. This seems like a good place to bring it up, about having a Discord for the podcast.
Yes, that's true. We were talking about that.
Yes, which we will not hammer out details right in here, but we will try to get you guys more information about when we can, once we figure out the details ourselves.
Also, like, raise your hand if you're interested in such a thing.
Yes. It would be kind of a bummer if we're like the only two people in the Discord just talking between each other. We already have multiple other places where we do that. What else should we talk about here, Derek? I feel like we should talk about more than just the fucking corona. I mean, should we get into politics and how this has been the most bonkers political situation I've seen in a very long time, or probably in my entire lifetime?
Yeah, I think we could if we talk about it now, because like to part the curtain a little bit, we're about to record another episode. So yes. I suspect that if we talk about it here, we'll be less inclined to talk about it in the next episode. True. So
I really thought that 9/11 was going to be the defining event of my generation.
Yep, same.
And apparently, I had called that game far too early, because this seems like it's actually going to be... Like, when I made a joke earlier about witnessing the death of neoliberalism, I'm not entirely sure I'm joking. The fact that, like, we're in an unprecedented territory, at least in terms of mercantile capitalism, at least in terms of, like, later capitalism as well, because the stock market has always meant nothing, but now it really means nothing.
It means jack shit.
You can pump trillions of dollars into it and do literally nothing, as we saw. Like, you can have a bump for 20 minutes and then it just plummets again.
It's the death of something. Maybe like we're in the middle of it, so maybe it's a little hard to call, but something is being appended, and I don't know what. And you know why I'm not trying to pronounce myself on that? It's because I'm not an expert in these situations, and this situation is more or less unprecedented in our lifetimes. And I've also a key piece of advice that a coworker of mine gave me on day 0, which was March 11th, which was the day that the NBA canceled their season. Which, need I remind you, was like 2.5 weeks ago.
Jesus, yeah.
This has only been going on for 2.5 weeks.
For us.
Yeah, for us. Their advice was, listen, don't not be informed, but don't try to project ahead, and don't apply any knowledge to the situation that you may already have, because information that you might get at 10 a.m. is probably no good by 5 p.m.
Yeah, like, there was, like, a week-long period where there's 3 different things that happened that I was... The quickness of how everything happened was shocking to me, which it shouldn't be at this point. Politics shouldn't surprise me, but I was genuinely surprised to see... First, we have what looks like... And this was like a week ago. Geez, it was not even that long ago. Like a week ago... Republican politicians seemed like they were calling for a social safety net in America, which they were going to the left in terms of fiscal policy of the Democratic Party, at least the mainstream Democratic Party. And then a couple days later, that was out the window, and we were going full corporate bailout. And then a couple days after that, it was, hey, maybe some people should just die because we need to get to the line to go back up. So... And those are 3 very different reactions to the same events, and I expected at least some time between them, but no, it's just boom, boom, boom. All of them just kind of like a gut punch each time, and I don't know what's going to actually happen. Apparently, like, Trump has said that he wants us to get back to work by Easter. That's not going to fucking happen, like, very clearly.
No, to incredibly date when we're recording this, apparently the social distancing measures in the United States have been prolonged until the end of April, so I don't know how he's going to square that.
Yeah, it's March 29th, we should say, because probably everything's changed by the time you hear this, even though it's probably being released in a couple days.
Sure. And there's still the Democratic primary that's ongoing, as far as I know.
God, it is technically, and Joe Biden's a rapist, but that doesn't matter, apparently.
I mean, so's your president, but...
Yeah. We can have rapist v. rapist for the presidency. What a world. What a wonderful world we live in. The utter incompetence and failure of the Democratic Party during this whole period has been one of the most expected things of this. I didn't expect them to do well, but at the same time, one of the most disappointing things, because it would be so easy to just outflank the Republicans in this. So easy.
Not to minimize a worldwide tragedy, but this should have been just a slam dunk from day one.
It should have been. It should have been so simple. Like, there's no difficulty in here. You say, hey, universal healthcare. Hey, here's a stipend for everyone for the next couple months until we get this all taken care of. That's not just a one-time $1,200 payment. Which, Derek, for American listeners, how is Canada dealing with that same situation?
I'm not welded to the news machine as much as seemingly everyone else. And this is kind of one of the weird positives of doing lugubrious, lurid true crime shows instead of the actual news, because I don't spend the entire day with the information hose in my face. But from basically everyone is filing for unemployment, and I'm iffy on the details, but I think there's going to be I think it's $4,000, how much is it? $2,000 a month for 4 months for everyone who can't work due to this virus. I think that's the way. If you're not working, because if you work in and I think in Quebec, if you work at a job, if your salary is so low as to, it would be more advantageous for you to just stop working and collect the federal grant. The Quebec government will match, basically will give you a stipend to fill out your salary up to the $2,000 per month level. That's as much as I know. I could be wrong, but that sounds right.
Copy.
So, not like... listen, like, this sucks for everyone, but I think we're doing not bad. We're going to get out of this in one piece.
Canada might. I don't know about the USA. We've officially, like, are number one in world cases. New York is apparently, like, a hell zone right now, especially in the hospitals. Like, I unfortunately have been home, so I've been on Twitter, so I've just had that information hose just spraying into my open mouth all day long. And
I don't know how you do it.
That's a good way to... And not only that, I've been purposely, like, brain poisoning myself by going on conspiracy theory websites and seeing what they're saying about it. And if you want a really easy way to go insane...
Conspiracy boomer images and such?
Oh yeah, but then I also have, obviously, like, I follow all the Q drops, because my brain's broken.
Every day, I don't know what inoculated me, so to speak, against internet brainworms, but I'm fucking glad it happened. Because it's not that people don't show me that. It's not that I don't see it out in the wild. But I don't, like, it hasn't gotten its sort of hooks into me. I don't seek it out. And I'm grateful for that.
Yes, I'm jealous, Derek, because instead every day on Twitter I compulsively have to engage with these people who are saying, if only Hillary would have been elected, we wouldn't have coronavirus. And I should just block people, but I can't because I'm extremely online.
Yeah, life's too short to pick fights with dumbasses on the internet.
Yeah, you're probably right, but also, like, what else am I going to do with my time, right? Like... now, there's no other activities for me to do. I could go read a book. I could go play a nice video game. I could go watch a movie, but instead, I have to be snarky to people.
I mean, whatever works, I guess. I mean, I'm not here to criticize your life choices.
It doesn't help that, like, most of the, like, podcasts I consume are also extremely online. Like, this is quite a time to be listening to QAnon Anonymous or.
I've not listened to the last few episodes of QAnon because I don't think I'd be able to take it.
Yeah, their most recent one was all about conspiracy theories around coronavirus, and oh god. Also, I don't know if you follow Trash Future. I'm actually going to make a short recommendation. Trash Future had an episode recently, kind of like here's their coronavirus episode, talking about what this might actually mean for neoliberal capitalism going forward and how this might play out. That I would recommend to the politically inclined. I thought it was actually very insightful and interesting. Unless you're already too fed up with this shit, which I would totally get. In which case, don't do it.
A qualified recommendation.
Yes. So yeah, we are going to try to keep doing this podcast. I can actually do more of this podcast now that I have time. And because of social distancing, I can't go to sex parties anymore, much to my chagrin. My main form of social interaction is gone.
You know what my main form of social interaction is, for real?
Magic the Gathering?
100%.
You can do both. Why not?
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We navigate this world in two very different ways, Isabel R. me and you.
So yeah, I will have more time to do stuff. For not this next episode, but the one after that, I will be doing another Isabel's Philosophy Corner, talking about Carl Schmitt. We're gonna try to maybe get that Discord up if there's interest for it, and maybe stream some movies that way with either Derek or I. Since thanks to our friend Juan, we have found a streaming solution, possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So until next time, I guess is this where we're ending it, or do you have anything else to say, Derek? I'm sorry. I should let you talk.
I mean, I don't know if I have anything else to add other than stay home.
Yes.
Wash your hands, and it may not look like it now, but we're probably going to make it out of this all right.
Okay, if you say so.
I do say so.
So until next time, I've been Isabel Arf.
And I've been Derek Gade, and now more than ever, have movies, be jolly.
Have movies, be jolly, and wash your hands. Stay safe, everybody.
Wash your goddamn hands.
Good night.
Good night.